Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Dragon Ball. And today I'm giving you guys another Dragon Ball Super episode review. Today is for episode 60, and as always, I watch this live as it airs, and it is then translated by Herms from Kanzenshuu on Twitter. I'll leave a link to his Twitter down below. I know I forget to mention it sometimes, but I always try to give credit where obviously credit is most certainly due. So, what exactly happened in this episode? And, well, how the hell was it exactly? Well, if you've seen the previews, and of course the spoilers, you've known what's going to happen in this episode for a while now. In the preview, we saw that it basically, the entire episode was kind of on the Kai planet with Zamasu and Gowasu. And it shows off, kind of teases how Zamasu might in fact kill the older Kai Gowasu in order to get to acquire the earrings and the time rings. And this is exactly what happens in the episode. It starts off with Goku and the gang. Goku, Beerus, Supreme Kai, and Whis up against Zamasu, and Zamasu's wondering, like, what the hell are these guys doing here? And he recognizes the Supreme Kai. He does recognize Supreme Kai from Universe 7, which was interesting. And I mean, from the latest manga chapter, I guess that kind of ties into a little bit of what we learned in the last manga chapter that we got a few days ago, I believe. So, we get that, and Beerus is pretty confident in the fact that Zamasu is going to kill Gowasu. He's very, very confident in this. He's got that feeling, but he needs proof. And their excuse on why they're there, because Zamasu's wondering, of course, he's like, well, they don't want to seem too suspicious. He says Goku wants another rematch, but Goku's like, no, wait, that's not why we're here. And then Beerus smacks him on the head, which was pretty funny. And, they got to obviously stay pretty inconspicuous, I suppose, to not make Zamasu, I guess, pussy out of his murder spree, or his insane murder he's going to try to commit here. So what ends up happening is, Whis puts down a meal with some, I thought it was dumplings, but I guess it's like a rice cake filled with, what Herms was saying, it's daifuku or something, which is basically like a rice cake with bean jam, which is, I guess, is something that's from Japan or whatever. I was not aware. I honestly thought, I guess it's kind of like a dumpling, but I thought it was just like a dumpling, like a pork dumpling or something. And then he's got some tea there as well. And they go off above the planet and oversee what's going to happen here. So they watch and wait for some evidence of what's going on. And I'm very interested. It's interesting what happens later in the episode. And some of you guys were calling this out, which I was maybe not necessarily impressed by, but a little surprised that, like, the technique was used again. But I'll get into that in a little bit. So we get a little bit of, I guess I'll go over, we see, I'll get this out of the way, we do get some glimpses of the future again with Zamasu and Black, and they have a little hideout, which obviously they're not hiding, but it's their little, they have like a little shack that they kind of go and stay in. It's out in the wilderness, and all the trees and everything are fine, very healthy looking environment, right? Not destroyed or anything like that. And they're talking about, Son Goku. Black says, I'll make sure I finish him off. But Zamasu obviously, does want to take out Goku on his own. That was the original plan. But Black says he'll finish off Goku for sure. And Zamasu says if he does that, he'll have nothing left to raise his battle power with. So they're really focusing on that fact that Black gets stronger as he fights, which I'm still kind of curious of how that works. But aside from that, we get some scenes of Kid Trunks confronting future Trunks, saying, like, you're not a real Saiyan, what are you doing moping around here? You should be out there defending things, trying to fight him, and he sucker punches future Trunks. I don't really know if it's a sucker punch, but he charged him, and Trunks saw it coming, but he just kind of took it, I guess. So we get that stuff, and, that kind of perspires, and, Trunks eventually, later on in the episode, way later on, kind of powers down, and they kind of just settle things like a normal couple of people. They don't fight it out. But there was nothing to discuss of that. It wasn't that interesting. It really wasn't that cool. the real meat of this is the whole mystery of, what's going to happen with Gowasu. It's not a mystery to a lot of us because we know the spoilers, but they're overlooking Gowasu and Zamasu having their tea. He's complimenting on it, and Zamasu ends up getting behind Gowasu to raise his hand with his little keyblade to kill Gowasu. And he's about to swing, and they fake us out by making Gowasu choke on his food and then having to slurp down some tea to clear his throat, which I thought was pretty funny. And then after that, Beerus and, the gang are like, well, so Supreme Kai's like relieved that he didn't murder him yet. But then he does, in fact, kill Gowasu right out without hesitation. And after that, Whis does his little time reversal trick to go back so they can... Number one, if you saw the preview, you saw that cat mitten. They use that cat mitten to put on... They go down to the planet, they put the cat mitten on Zamasu's arm, and he hits Gowasu on the head with a freaking cat mitten, which it must be magical or something, I guess. So, I guess that deflects the key, and they explain, like, he was going to kill you, and all that stuff. Gowasu saying, like, you haven't fixed yourself, you haven't reformed, or anything like that. So, then they make the cat mitten not magical. He has his little keyblade there, and basically Goku's there to fight him, right? I like that Goku's there to fight Zamasu and take him out. There's no interference from anyone else. Yeah. But Zamasu's coming towards Goku with that little keyblade. Goku's still in his base form. And, what a lot of people knew was going to happen from the spoilers, of course. Beerus grabs Zamasu's arm. So Beerus just literally, like, he destroys Zamasu with no effort, of course, because he's Beerus, and Zamasu's not anywhere near his level, right? He destroys Zamasu just like that. It was a pretty epic looking scene, though, because I knew he was going to destroy Zamasu. I knew he was going to kill it. I seen the spoilers. But I do like the way it was approached with the... It could have just been a simple blast, right? But what they did was he screamed and he, like, dissolved up in the air. It is very similar to back in the Battle of God's Arc, I guess you could say, when he'd, like, tap on, when he would, like, destroy things in the Battle of God's Arc, when he would, like, tap things and they'd kind of, like, dissolve. It was very, very similar to that. And he had literally was no effort put into this kill, really, at all. And, Gowasu's just so surprised that this had happened. And nothing really happens after that on the planet. They kind of just go back to Earth. They really are the ones that, Trunks says, I know how you feel, like, Kid Trunks. So that's when they stopped fighting. They had their little fight, and they stopped then. And then they kind of landed in the middle of them. Whis did. And Beerus kind of says, that was a really shit landing, Whis. And, the future, they talk about how the future should be fine now. They tell Trunks that Zamasu was destroyed, so the future should be okay, but future Trunks is still in question in this, and obviously we know that there's no way that the future's okay. It's still messed up. They're gonna have to go out there, and there's gonna need to be real resolve here, really. It's not as simple as destroying the past Zamasu here. It's quite different than that here. There's apparently a little more going on in that, but I didn't get quite as much detail out of this, and Herms didn't get it because, like, he basically waits for, like, certain things. He waits for, like, the closed captioning, like how they have, like, subtitles on things and on TV. He's waiting for those to get uploaded, so there will be more information on that. But as of now, right now, all we have is that, Beerus says, these should be gone in the future now, which isn't exactly, how Dragon Ball time travel works. I'm not really sure what's going on here with this. I know that Toriyama said there's going to be some inconsistencies with the arc, but I'm confused of how, like, anyone would believe that this would actually destroy Zamasu in the future. It's a little questionable to me, but we'll have to see how that works. But overall, it was a pretty enjoyable episode. It was good. It was definitely above average. It was nothing great. Highlights were, of course, in suspense, waiting to see how Zamasu kills Gowasu. And I think if you went into this episode not knowing what was going to happen, like me, you would enjoy it more. There'd be a lot more mystery going on here and a lot more suspense. But even though I knew what was going on, I was waiting like suspensefully, like when is this gonna happen? Like that first fake out when Gowasu starts choking on the food, that was a really good fake out on their part for presenting that and, you know, making that not the actual death scene. And I was pretty excited to see that Whis used his little time reversal. But, you know, pretty solid animation. Not too many things detracted from what the core of the episode was supposed to be, which was this whole setup of, you know, when is Gowasu gonna die? How is he gonna die? What's Zamasu going to do? Is he gonna go through with this and that stuff? And seeing Beerus kill Zamasu was a real treat to see that. Seeing Beerus do almost anything is always a treat. I love the voice acting on Beerus. I always love you know, the Funimation with Jason Douglas and, you know, the Japanese voice acting. I like them both probably equally as much, but again, not much else to say. It really wasn't an episode filled of too much to talk about, so I feel like I might have rambled a little bit too long here. But if I missed anything important and major, let me know down below. I think I did cover just about everything, though. I don't really think I missed too much, and if I did, I apologize. Hopefully it wasn't anything major. But aside from that, not really much else to say about the episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts on the episode down below. Did you like it? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was a waste of time? I think it was definitely an important episode in the series to obviously illustrate that they are trying to take care of this problem, this threat of Zamasu and Goku Black in the future. But all in all, taking care of them in the present is not going to fix it for the future, and we all know this for sure. Even if they are changing the way time travel works or tweaking it, we know that there's definitely more to come from this. There's no way they would end it off this anticlimactically. So other than that, guys, you know, with that out of the way, share your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.